Okay, I think I'll do this again. I was doing this earlier, and my aunt yelled down, and I had to yell back, so it's kind of messed up the recording. So I'm gonna start over. This is showing a lot of detail in this, and it's in pixels. You can see that the pixels just look pixely, but the illusion that I was trying to get came out to look like this. This is 100% view. This is what people see. I double click the magnifying glass so then it zooms out 100%. This picture in the background that's pixelated, it was just a picture I stuck in there from fans for this game. So I was, when I built or did this, a lot of people didn't think I had the capability of, but I always knew I did. I just didn't get that much into detail when I didn't have to. And stuff like this, I was looking at, and I sort of like I wanted the light to go almost over top. So I painted this skull here and the horns. You can't really see the horns, but you can see a shadow of it here. I painted that in because I wanted it to look like that this right here is shadowed in, which these fonts over here is part of the program, so that went over the art. And this over here is shadowed in here to show that this is an overhang. So this is shadowed. This is like 1 pixel lines. You can see these pixels. This 1 pixel line. And so it's all very high pixelated detail. And it is mostly all drawn exactly as you see it. And the cable might not have been. I might have worked with the larger cable, but I was more or less playing with it to get what I wanted it to look like. Right here, it don't look like cable, but there is slashes through there. You can see them through there, the slashes. That's separating the strands as it's twisted. And these colors here, they're like showing the ram's horn. They're showing the grain in it. So when you look at it like this, you see all that. You see all these blocks that I made. And since I had to do a repeating picture, I wanted some life, like plant life. I did a tree that's usually in the winter. These trees, they don't get that tall. They don't look like that. But I was wanting them to look like that. Anyway, this is one thing on it. This is the chain. That this is so close that you can see every pixel, and this magnifying glass don't go any closer. As close as it gets. And this is way you can work with it. So if you want to draw a pixel line, like I'm gonna, let me see, that's way over here to this side. See these pixel lines right here? That's the best way to draw them, because even with this the brush, this like if I was to pick up this black and follow this line, you can see it's going along the line, and you have to get dead center in the line in order to get it to keep from going everywhere else, because you're adding area down here and that don't work. Step back. I'll start a new layer so that I can delete stuff like that. Okay, and these lines right here, these were all done by, like, see this 13%? That looks like a good flow rate for doing something like this. And I hold the shift down, so then I go a straight line down. And then I make it strong where I want it to be strong. And then I add some shadow in there. so that the shadow make it look like it's shadowed, and that makes sort of like shows that it's not really on the surface, but it's over the surface with that shadow. And I don't even know where I was, but I can go like this. There's where it is, right there. Okay, if you can see this in the quality of the thing, you can see that line go in and out, and it's right there. So that's more or less just painting, but you're working with pixels. Now I'm going to show you something that might be a little bit more difficult. I'll delete this and start a new layer and fill it with black, because black's easy to work with. Okay, have you ever had to do calligraphy? Then this would probably like be something that you know about, or if you've seen it, which I'm going to do a black letter, like an H. I'm going to do like hello and calligraphy. So I'm going to, this flow is too low. I want it to be strong because one line should say it all. Don't want to repeat it because I can't repeat it. I'm not that good. So the H is, I made it kind of big because it's going to be a big H, but it's this is going to be more detailed, larger H. So I'm going to fill in here, and then the H goes down to get out like this, and then when it gets enough to where it's right across, then I can go straight down. I'm going to hold the shift key right here, and yep, I don't like that. That line went over there too far. Let's go right through here. There. And then a little bit this side. Looks like it was a lot this side. So let's make it this tall. And this is not just the H. This is just the section. And I don't like this, so I can just trim it off. Delete. Oops. Let's not delete it. It's on the black. Let's get the other color back on here. Okay. So I can just fill in this area. And I can do this area. And while I'm at it, might as well do the rest of it. This is the back of the heel. Comes down like this and up like this. Not too far because this is a H. Well, there's refresh cutting me off. Try to get before refresh hit happens again. Let's see. There, there, there. Edit, fill. So that's sort of an H, the beginning part of it. Now we want this hump in the H. Hit undo. Let's go from here down. I might be better in that angle. Okay, and then this part has to curve around, so I'm going to drop down and bring it around, out and down. And then see, I can add to it or pull back from it. Well, there's a little humper. I can trim it. Come to think of it, can't do it that way. Just got to do it this way. See, when you have like a little wave in it, it might not look that much like a wave, but it would look like a wave when you're farther away from it. So now I'll just select this area. I guess I was going to show you something, but see what tool I have here? It's the polygon on a lasso tool. And that's like a magnetic stick. You just click here, click there, and click around and get what you want. Except I have to do mine before it refreshes again and cuts me off. Hit it. Fill. No, that was black. Hit it. Fill. Oops, that was messed up. Gotta get my arm situated. I practice handwriting every once in a while so I can do stuff like this. Okay, there's looks like a rough H. Wait a minute, there's actual size. So it looks alright, I guess. Then we can keep going. It looks a little short though. But I'll just make it taller. I'll just copy this. Actually, I'll just drag it. It's on one layer. And then go across here and drag that down. There. Now it's taller. That was double click the hand. That's to get everything to fit to the screen so then I can see the whole picture. Right here it looks like it's a little thick. It could be thinned out. Right through here, this tail end here. I'll just select it and fill it in with black. See how it looks. Could be thinned out more. Go up. Let me get in closer. I want to go up through here and start curving here and then come in like this. Oh, that was messed up. Right here it came in too far. And let's see if that's what it should look like. Yeah, it could look like that, but the line came in a little bit too much. What I want to cut off is what's there. This lighter. When you work on details like this, is details that you work on longer is more important to get it to look right. Because on a limited canvas, you don't have that many pixels to work with, so you can afford to work on stuff like this a little more because you're doing it with less pixels than you would if you were doing it large. So now, see if I can get this right. Go down like this. Now let's see what it looks like. Yeah, it's kind of smooth through there. Could be smoother. And I can smooth it out with the black. This helps to have this so I don't have to keep going over the line. I want it to be really strong. You see this right here? At full scale, it looks like there's a little lump right there. It's right there. It comes in too far. But this swerves around, and that little bit right there. So when you're picky with stuff like this, you get what you want people to see, not what they think they see. So you're making what they think they see. Okay, now I'm going to do an E. I could probably, let's see, an E. I kind of forgot what it looks like. Come to think of it, I think I remember now. An E would be like a curve like this that comes here to a stop. So this line comes out big and comes out small. And then this front part smaller, or has this line comes up here like this. And this is big and this is small. Something like this. I know it's got like a point right here. So I want to keep this point. Comes up into the top there. And then this has to come down like this. Curves up into this point. So just fill it in. Let me use a larger brush. Then I'll just go make this line heavier. That was a little mistake there. This is not heavy enough. I'm going to go 100% so that when I make a line, it's more permanent the way I want it. No second time over. Then I just do like this. That's the bottom line of the E. And I think that needs to come up like this. It's been a while since I've done black lettering. And the H is like the L, but it don't have that part, so I'm going to copy this. And then copy this to go with it. Edit. Copy. Edit. And paste. Now I push shift to make it line up and move it back like right there, and then do a paste again. It looks right. And go up here, and the O would be like the E. So I copied the E, except the O finishes up. And I'm going to merge down so then I get all these in one. Okay. So the O takes up from here and makes a wide area here. Keep bumping over that way. It's not because something's hit my arm around. So with some changes, this will be in a I've made that shaded down more because I didn't want it to just look like it's cut off there. Because when you zoom out, the pixels, the details of the pixels and how they are is what really counts, because it's going to have an illusion. Nobody's going to see each pixel filled to just look like this is too thick, and I thinned it out right there. and it could be too thin a little bit, so I can thicken it a little bit right there. And right here, it just probably needs more fill in right along here. Give this O a little wider. Okay, now this is what it looks like at 100%. I'm going to copy it and paste it. Wait a minute, that's not copying it. Merge down. Hit copy, hit paste. Have you ever seen a lot of black lettering? They don't look just like this. They have a lot of swirls and stuff added on. And that's why I'm, wait a minute. That's why it's not fancy enough. And I was going with the pixel details is because I would consider this details. Like when you go like this and add the fancy stuff on it. This is flaring it up like this here. Let me undo that. Came off of that this area through here. Undo. I touched it there. There's a spot right there that looks not straight. So I come like this. Well, that's a little rough. Anyway, that'll look jagged through there when you're at 100%. See, it looks a little jagged right there. So it's not really because it's jagged, but part of it is. It's more or less because I changed. So I can go over this and make it where it's supposed to be, and then at the trim where it wasn't supposed to be. So I'm thinning it out. And if it gets too thin, it'll just look like this spot right here. That's too thin. It's not like the rest of it, and it'll show. Those thin areas show. See, that's a thin area right there. Now it's not thin, it's thick. And then get that smoothness. And there is a bump right there is too much. I was using an eraser. Oh well. You won't have no background behind it. So this right here, this is a messed up area of the loop. And then this right here is a little bit thin. See, I'm looking at the pixels. It's like there's a pixel here and it's a line that's thin. Means there's thin between here and here across. Like right here is a thin spot. And it'll show. See, if you zoom out, you can see where I added it. And right here looks like a flat spot in the hump. So I can come out a little bit and then erase the line so it won't be so thick. So let's see what that looks like. Now it's just thin through here. I'll zoom in because it's easier to hit the pixels when you're closer. And that should be done. See what it looks like. It looks okay. And this one still looks good. Thin, just a little rough right there at the beginning. And some of them needs to be finer. Sort of like, I'm going to make this one look finer. And to make the thinner line, I either have to go really fast or, and this probably don't look thin enough. See, it looks a little thinner, but it's not thin enough because I was at a higher flow. So I'm going to try a higher flow and I'll go fast. Wait a minute, that's text, that's not brush. That's 100% and I go at like 80%. I'm just guessing here. I could do 78%, be all right. Let's see what that looks like. Let's do it really fast and see what it looks like. It looks a little thinner. Edit, undo. So let's go with less flow. These are one-time lines. So I'm making the lines that's thinner. That looks good. So I can put a little tail on it, or I can just leave it like that. But that's basically how you do all these things in here is that, like this H, this would probably be the heaviest one. I go with the flow that's up higher. And I think I'll have to zoom out more because this line is going to be big. Okay, so I'm thinking about drawing a line back like this and then looped around like this. And then maybe a little tail on it, maybe not. Anyway, there's what I got to go with. Now I can zoom in and make it look better. And get around the curve here. And now I have this much, and there's a little bump right here. It's going down, and this is like a little hump going up either way, and probably a little bit of both. So this eraser is probably a little bit early to be using because I haven't made my line yet, because I could be messing up. And I just follow this place where I want the line to be. And this part right here is going to be thicker. So this right here looks too thick. You can see where it's too thick, can't you? It's like there's 3 pixels wide that's almost solid. And the rest of these don't have that many. There's one right there, but it's thinner right across here through this top. So the line looks thinner here because it's just 1 pixel there and barely showing anything on either side. That makes it look small. See, when I'm here, it's small in 2 places through here. So let's make this spot stronger and spots through here. Eraser. Doing this freehand is a little bit rough, but it makes you look good. Makes you look like you're good because you practiced a lot. Now I'm gonna work on this, which is gonna be more like I'm gonna do a lot of clicking. You'll be able to see where I click because it's gonna leave a corner or an edge that's not smooth, but I can smooth it out with a brush. So this part through here is going to be thicker. If I get close enough, it won't show that much. Of course, the thickness is going to be varied because I'm not drawing it thick, I'm making it thick. Okay, and then I just fill. Let's see how that looks. See if anything needs changed. Oh, good. Be a little more of a hump up here on top. So I'll just make some of this stand out. And then fix it. That was a little bit too much. Then I got like specks here that's not going to come out right. It's supposed to be blended. That looks blended better. Just a few clicks. Well, that's pretty good. I think I'll just cut this off. Don't need this. Oh yeah, there was one that's where you fade out. Let's go with the lower flow and fade out. You go from bold to hardly anything at all. This smudge thing, watch it. It does it. It also makes it blurry if you don't watch it. But this is a 1 pixel, so it might. I'm pretty sure it'd be all right. Okay, there it is, faded out. It just faded out. Right here looks bolder. That gives it a thickness to that line, and then it gets thinned out right here. So let's see if I can just go like that. See if that makes it look blend in better, which looks like it. So when I'm doing this, I'd add these swirls, and I'm going to go with pieces on them or anything. And here's this point where it can also go, but I don't think it usually goes there. There. Hello. So there's an object with details. Oh well, we'll just copy and paste again. See, I'll click on this. This is control, and then I click on the icon layer to select it. I could do that with any of them. Just click on the icon. So I'm going to make sure I'm pasting this in the right spot. That sets the right spot. Edit, paste. I can also fill with that, but I can't move a fill. At least not a separate entity. Okay, there's another one. Could be down one more. Looks about the same there. Now I do this again and edit, paste, and move it down. So this point here is that we're setting the links, the twist in the rope. And that way we can make 2 or 3 of them, because I want to do one here and one here and one here, or one there and there and there. But if we make 3 bands here, then we can work on a place where we can select, like we can select here and go down to here, and that'll be the same distance, because this comes down here, or we can go up to the edge of this curve here and select down here, and that would show us where we have to stop. So it goes from here to there. Like if I was to copy this now, it'd probably be 1 pixel off. So I'll just like copy merge. So now do paste. Let's see if this links. See the variations. It's 1 pixel off. So this is one pixel too many. And I can zoom in and make sure that this is exactly where it should be. Like it's off that way. Use the arrow key and move it over. If I put it on to selector, there. And it looks like it could go up. Nope. Just the way it is. Okay. So now we got, this could be a repeating tile. This will repeat continuously and look that same way. That's what we want on the road. And when we do it, we have to do like more than one copy of it so that we can make it smaller. Like I'm going to make this smaller and it'll mess it up. It'll pixelate it. So I'll just do another one. Edit, paste. And move it over and down. So this gets merged down. So we have plenty there. And then when we reduce the size, and it blurs it, at least it's going to be joined up with others. Like we want to do that size. I'm going to use the selector tool to get it. It was too small for me to select. See, and now we got that. A smaller version. This gives more detail for just having smaller version. And that's how you go from uh, one thing to another, more details, is you actually draw it larger, and or you can draw it original size. But this is the layout for my rope. So now I just draw it. I can draw it here or there. Either way, I'm going to be making the rope. I'm going to do it with a smaller version. You can do it with a larger version. I'm going to go with 1 pixel. Pick up some colors that I'm going to use. This would be like rope, edit, undo brush, and give it a 15 flow. It gives me something with some blending ability. Because I'm going to blend to get this curve. Going to have highlights, shadows, colors, and everything in there to make this like a gold rope. And it has to be lines through here, different colors and shades to give the strands, because the rope is fibers and it needs to curve up and curve down like that. So we get some orange in there. That would be in the darker areas, and some browns in there for shading. And since it's a darker color, and if we want some highlights here, we need to add more here for highlights. This is where the top of the rope is. That's the highlights. So right through here would be highlights, but it's in strands. It'd be like this more. And then places where it's not strands, will be shadows, like through here. So I'm going to make this rope through here a little wider. This is for highlights on the edge. It's not, sometimes it catches light. So I got rope going like this. Now I got that, and I'm going to copy this. And paste it. Was that copy everything? It's probably because I was painting on it. I'll get rid of that layer. Let's select this area right here. I don't want it to have black on the background. So get rid of some black. See what I got. Yep, it's copied the black. I'll have to trim that off. Okay, and then you got that, and copy and paste, and do another strand of rope. Bring that up so I can see it. I copied the black layer. Yep, should be copying it there. Okay, so I don't want that to be gray, so I'll just keep copying and pasting it in here. I want this to look exactly like these pixel rows have to line up. So I'm repeating exactly the same thing. Like a twisted rope. There are not very many strands and fibers showing. It just looks a little rough. And the dark areas are too dark. They need to be lighter. So let's see which one is the bottom one. We'll just make keep that separate. Just merge these three. So I'm gonna Control E, merge. Now I have that separate, and I'll turn this back on, and then go with the orange in there. Actually, a dark orange, and make this lighter, but still kind of dark, not too dark. I don't want these lines to be heavy. Now I get lighter colors. Go through there to make it pale. I missed that spot there. And need some shadow areas at the bottom here. These can leave strands through there. And some highlights. Now let's see. That looks more like a golden rope. Could make it pale a little bit, but I'm going to use what I got and copy it. And hide this. And paste. And that looks a little bit too heavy right there. So I'll trim that off. Oh, that was wrong button. So now I have like a rope that can be repeated. Now all I gotta do is find a medium, like this spot right here. These 2 points. See this spot right here? It's identical to the spot down here because they're copies. So I want to copy from here where the edge of the rope is just starting to show. And this is real faint, so I can leave them off. So I'm going to go across from here, from that hump, down just before that hump. Okay, there's a exact copy section right there. Copy merge. Now I'll just zoom out. And this was the way I built it. Doesn't mean I have to keep it. And paste. There's a tile. That thing could be tiled right there. Now I'm going to trim these black areas right here. This gives the rope the shape. And that was close to being this, so I'll trim that a little bit. Now I'll just copy this, not merge because I don't want the black, and turn off the blacks just to make sure it looks all right like that. How many is it? Copy, paste. Now we bring it down here, see how it matches up. Okay, it's another one, add another one, edit, paste. Now tiles like this, they can add a lot of details. Like right there. If that was in your art, it would add more detail to it. So if you can repeat stuff, you can do less drawing and have something that looks good. Look at that. Now I'll just go like this and turn all these layers off. Right there is completely clear, nothing behind it. Edit, copy, merge since it's transparent area. So now I can make it stack up. And we can make sure that that's the arrow key going up. Yep, it pulled apart. So it's direct contact. Let's go up here, zoom out. So I'm going to use this window to zoom out and do paste. And put it in place. Let's go up one. Got a gap. Right. Now, see? If you have like a frame or something on your art, you can do that. It takes a lot more work to actually do. This is a straight line. It takes more work to make a curve. But you'd have to actually draw it. And each section you'd have to rotate and still keep the same root lengths in it. I spilled my drink. Okay. So that's just like an idea of how I did some of this stuff on this. Um, on this. Let me hide this. And see if I can hide those strips. I wanted to do a rope here in my design. I could add that rope to it. I can even resize it to make it fit whatever I want. Like the These are all linked together. I just copy the whole thing by merging it all down and copy it so I don't get nothing else. Edit, copy. Now I go over here, edit, paste, and drag it over there. And in order to keep it in proportion, let me get down here below it. To get in proportion, you have to resize it, but hold shift to keep the proportions on it. So image, free transform, move up a little bit because it's gonna come up higher. See, this takes a lot of moving. And when you do this, the pixels are changing. They're not going to be the same pixels. They're going to be rearranged to get that, keep that image the way you did it, basically. And it becomes a smaller version of it. Let's see. So now I'm just going to put it right there and see what it looks like up here. I'll just move it up here. So that's a decayed version of that rope, just smaller. And it don't have as many details as this, but that adds details to your art. And since this is up in here, I can move this up and then trim it. Now that gives it the shadow, and it could pretty much look like it's part of the scene. Looks like there's two versions. One was root, this one was blue. Now, you see on the cable, actually it's like a bronze cable. But this is root. And the illusion is because I made these further on the sides, this way reversed. And it's still but you almost flat on the sides. And the reason different, it'll be tougher to do across these hashes, cross hatches on the braided rope. And they have dark places like little squares in the middle. They're like, let me see. I'm gonna raise this up. This sort of across the edge. Turn on the black layer. A crosshatch would be, you have to make lines. And you did like before, you got cross, maybe that's black, like crosshatch. Let's go this angle. Well, that should be doing something. Flow rate. Let's make a line. There we go. And to repeat that line, we just copy it. Edit, copy, edit. So this is the line dividing the width of the strips, the cross hatches. Then we merge them together because those are a constant. We can also fill them in the middle with the lower flow rate, I guess. So we make sure that it's not going to see that right there. Let's go with the lower flow rate and white brush. Go down there. So now we have an idea of what is filling in the width. We can still do the grain and stuff. So just say that, just like the representation of the braid. And this need to put more up here. Okay, that's a copy of one braid rope. Then we need, I guess that's one layer. Just checking. Then we copy it and we can keep going down these braids. Try and keep the same line with the gap in between. And we could go a little bit more of a gap like that. Then we got those two. We can merge that down and copy it. Get them lined up. And then move them down. Try to be about the same. And merge them down. I merged it down already. And just keep repeating that till you have something to work with. Each time you have more to copy and more to paste in, so you cover more ground that way. So now I just merge down, Control E, and I think zoom out because I want to do the other part now, the other direction. Edit, edit, copy, edit, paste, edit, free transform, flip horizontally. Now we have our crosshatch. See, we got like a little small section. It's only going to cover this far. And that might be enough. So we got this crosshatch. Could look good like that. We can do that on purpose with that transparent area. Or we can work on the pixels like this one here is going this way. So we can cut areas out like this area here where this other area came through. And delete that. Probably delete too much. We can also erase it. with the eraser and erase it just so we can make sure that we're not going too much and do away with that. So eraser and zoom in and let's go with the hard brush to get a good edge on it. And that's a little bit too big. Couldn't get much detail on that. Okay, there. Oh, that's for percent. We want 100%. This one gets trimmed because it goes over. Then the other one gets trimmed there and there. And then these get trimmed. But I have to go the other way to switch over to the other one to trim the others. This trim, this trim. So I can just copy this and paste it in. It might look alright. Now I'm going to switch down to the other one and cut this out. Go in this direction. And we'll have to put in places where it raises up to go over each other. To make the braid. And then we can shape it with shading and stuff to make it look like it's curving around instead of just flat. We give it shape. So this right here gets trimmed. And this is sort of like what I do to make something look good because it has more detail. So I use these like in drawings for pixel effects. And the pixel effects makes everything look better. At least I guess other people do, because when you ask them, what do you call art? And it's actually art that looks like it was a lot of work putting into it. But with a small canvas, you actually put less time in it. Go back up to this one. And trim this. Let's see, what way is it going? This has to be trimmed off. That's what I'm trimming that way. Oops, I went ever too far. Undo eraser. The reason why I didn't fill it in is because it's easier to see what I'm doing here. I was more or less interested in the edges because the edges for this is a little bit harder if it's all one color, and having it less, more like with the lower area. This like right here through here, and get this through here is showing transparent area. That leaves these edges bold. And I was just filling in this a little bit so that it helps the mind focus on what's going to be happening here is that's going to be area that's filled in, and the areas that we're erasing, they're going to make this weave pattern here. See, and at 100%, it looks like that. It's got the weave and everything, so it's so we can see what we're doing. Like on this one, these lines up this way got to stay on, and so this whole row over here, they're going this way, and all these lines have to be erased. That's these lines. So that's how it works. You just lay all the burlap, then after you get all the things done and getting these like this, or just leave it like this. But the if you want to get to work on each area here, you're working on this. You just select this area here. Eh, might want to add this little piece because it was off in an angle. Okay, so I get a small brush, make streaks through here, add colors, and see it. I'm working in this area. The flow is a little bit low, so I'm not getting nowhere. Okay, see, this is better flow. And I add some gray brown type stuff, and then darker areas here where it's going under. This areas it's going under, it's going to be more shaded, and then areas through here it'd be lighter. Let me go with the lower flow so it's not too drastic. And then get the lighter colors. Can't see my brush half the time here. There. So you go like that, and let's see if I can get it to where I can copy it. Because if I like it, I'll just copy it. Get these edges. And I copy it, put it on another layer. Then I can keep what I want. Go with another layer. Edit. Paste. Then I can take that same area and paste it up here. All these across. And paste again. Wait a minute, that's the brush. Underbrush. Edit. Paste. Edit. Paste. And you can see the consistency here. Then we just do like edit, paste again, and then do invert. So this is all exact copies, just going different ways. And I'm going to reverse it by flip. So transform, flip horizontal. So I can do this. paste. Wait a minute. Edit, undo, paste. I want to get a copy of this one. Edit, copy, edit, paste. So it should fit here. It's a little bit off. Okay. Edit, paste. See if I can get it to go this way. Kind of hard to get that spot right there. So I have to come out a little bit. Edit, paste. Edit, paste. Edit, paste. Edit, paste. Edit, paste. I'm going to show you what it looks like in a minute. Edit. Well, that's still a paste. Okay. You can see this burlap now, and I'm going to try to find one of them. The first one, probably that one down there. That was 25, 26, 20. Let's see what's 19 like. That looks like it's over top of that. 18. Yeah, we get rid of 17 and 18. See this? This is a pattern. Makes a more like a wicker shape thing. So now, if I want to merge all these down, this is a lot of work. And we'll try to exclude this one, I think. Nope, can't exclude that one. We need more like this. So I go copy, 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 and let's see if we can move this. Oh, no. Copy this. Move it over here. No. Don't think it was supposed to be there. Oh well, it's one way. I need to do these. So it'd be like this. The reason why I need this is because this will lay on top of that. It's supposed to lay on top of that. It's right there. And paste again. This one don't have nothing to work with there. I can just go here. Let's see. Yep, that's what I want. And then move it over with the Shift key. There. Now I can copy that. See how it does. So I'm going to merge it all down. Starting from here. And do I need that one? It's not down here. So if I need it, then I have to copy this one. Move over. And let's see if that's right. Yep, that's right. Shift and move down. Right there. And shift and move over and see if it matches. It could move down one more. Of course, that one could move up. And it's just like better that way. So we have that. This one looks off because there's a crack right there. So now I'll merge them all. This is Control E, 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 E. There. See if we can get this to copy and match. Well, it could look close enough to put it right there. Of course, it's not right. But it is be variations in it. So that's all right. As long as it looks all right. Then we can do it again. Edit, paste. So now we have like a wicker pattern. Now we just need to shape it. So we can merge them all down. Merge, merge. Then select them all, or we can lock it. So now it's not going to do anything besides what's there. Now we can do this. This the zoom tool. Don't want that one. I want burn tool. Burn tool can help us shape it. It'll throw in more color, but we can add black. Okay, now I'm shaping it. This is just darkening it up a little bit. So now I'll use black. And shade it. So when you go around turns and stuff, you're actually losing the color. And since we're losing too much color, not really getting black out of it, see this looks pale, like it's getting colorized. So I guess it's showing like that because it's not really doing what I want. I locked it and it's staying in the colors instead of doing what I want. So I'm gonna, it's normal mode, 70%. And the only other way is to trim it when I'm done because it's gonna be black. And anything we do is gonna be black anyway, so I'll just take the lock off and keep it in this area. So I don't have too much trim in black. This is the brush, 10% flow. It's not on color. And just to make sure it's not the layer, I'll just go on a layer above it. This is gray. Oh, okay. That's what the problem is. Hit it. Step back. 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 Now we're back to beginning. And this layer is locked. So now we got black. And there's a shade in between, so we don't want black in between there. Go with this color. Add some color to it. Lighter. Maybe not that much. Not there anyway. Hit it. Undo. Then trying to get this curve in it. So this make it look pale, so it's the same thing as white if I use dodge. And let's go smaller for highlight light area. Okay, this now we have places that curve, but we don't show it here because the sides, they don't curve around, they're just flat and it's shaded, so it just looks flat and shaded. So now I'll unlock it and select it down through here. And what I'm going to do is, as stuff curves around, it gets shorter along the sides. So I'm going to take this much of it, make it shorter, and take this much of it and make it smaller. But we're just doing like a couple notches here, make it smaller. So I'm going to use this and then use free transform and bring it in. And do the same thing over here. Make sure it's getting it. Edit. Retransform. So now it's smaller on the sides. Now I'm going to go about half of that. Actually, that much of it. Do retransform. And it's curving around now. And then do this. That was through there. So I'm going to go through there too. Edit. Free transform. So now the wood is actually kind of curving around a little bit. Of course, this is out of place, but right through here, you can see it's curving around a little bit, like the rope. It goes up in here, curves around, comes down and goes down. So now it looks more curved, like something's curved. So now it looks like it could be a braided rope. And all we got to do is just fill in what's behind it so that there's rope inside. And we can go with something like this. Just get inside of it and fill it in. Looks like this just a bit too much on one side and the other. So like one pixel has to come off. Okay, now we're inside the rope because the braided rope comes outside. This will be inside. So now I need a layer underneath. To draw this rope stuff. And I'm going to make it like this first. And get it shaded first. Let's see. Want to do a low flow, which it is, just lower and a little wider. So there. Then want streaks in it. Let's hide this so we don't get that messed up or confused because we're working on this. Just drawing streaks. I'm using the shift time every time I'm getting up here and click, I use shift. If I push shift before I push the click, then it picks up a line from down on the bottom and brings it up like that. See the angle line? Of course, there's not much flow here to see much. I'll go with 8. Try. Let's see. Click, drag. Click, drag. Click, drag. Click, drag. Click, drag. This puts in streaks. Whoops. There I go, pushing that button first again. Click, drag. Click, drag. Click, drag. Click, drag. Click, drag. Click, drag. And then get some more over here. Just not enough over here. Go up on some places. Just because I feel like it. Help breaking up in monotony. And let's go with this color and put lighter streaks in it and go with the higher flow because black does more than the other colors. Actually, there's another way to do it. Just like this. It's a little sloppy. You can edit it with some oranges in there. And some bright yellows. Let's put a few streaks in there. And some dark streaks. streaks. And I don't see it anymore. There it is. And some medium streaks through there. Where it's going to be lighter. I want to get this lighter here. So what I'm doing is I'm trying to get it light in the middle and shaded more on the sides. And see what I'm doing here is I'm just making something that I can select on here and drag outward. Edit, free transform, then soft streaks. Okay. So now that looks could be more like what I want. And just like a spot in the middle. I can fix that too. Just select through here and drag it out. And just to be sure, I'll shade better. Get a big brush, dark color, and shade it. Now I'm going to show what's on top of it. And this braid is a little bit stronger to be a lighter color. So light color but pale. So use brightness and contrast. Image, just brightness and contrast. Make it brighter but duller. Like that. Actually, it could be duller like that. Now I'm going to select this and give it a shadow, drop down shadow on top of it. I'll make a new layer for that. That way I can blur it a little bit. So I'll just drop it down here like this. Edit, fill. So that gives the shadow on it like that. Could be closer, give it some thickness. And then I use filter, blur, Gaussian blur. Go with the low Gaussian blur. And then I can adjust the how much, like right there might be all right. So now I want to find a place where it repeats. Let's see, there's a spot there and there's a spot there. So if I click on this and get 1 pixel there, then I'm going to have to hide everything that I don't want shown. Don't want to see that. Don't want to see that. There's shading in there, shadows needs trimmed. And if I copy it now, I'm just going to mess it up. So I'm going to trim the shadows. This. Get the eraser and do it. Because the shadows don't fall outside. Yep, I was on the shadows. There. This right here looks like it could be pushed in more. So I think I'll do that. Oh man, that's the wrong one. I had to start over. Right there. Now it looks better. Do this side over here. So now we can select that area. The top of that. And there. So that should be a copy. Edit. Copy. Oh, wait a minute. We're copying everything. Copy merge. Now we have something that we can probably tile pretty good. Edit. So even though that this is like that, it's going to be the same all the way through. And we can reduce the size of it. So we can do that and do another one. Edit. Paste. Put it up on top. Get close enough to see what I'm doing. Then edit, paste. The top edge looks like it's a little lighter than the bottom edge from the shading as I went down. So we'll have to fix that. And the best way to do it is to fix one in the middle to match up with the one on top. And that's the one we'll copy. So select this area, hide the view, extras. So now I can't see the selection line. So now I can just work on getting this to match up. Oop. Undo. That's a pretty big flow there. Now, that one click pretty much did it. So that would be the one I copy. Then I can get rid of the other two. This is about why I'm putting things together beforehand so I can get it to look good. Of course, there's white patches in here, but I don't know how it would look when it's reduced. So edit, free transform. I'll show you what it actually don't want to lose the edges that I have. So I'm going to select this area here and copy it. Make sure I got it copied. And then paste. So now it should match up. Edit, paste. Now merge them down and make it smaller. Then we can copy an area where we see it repeat. Edit, free transform. Now we have something like a braid, like braided rope. But it's more like a braided look of wood or something. But you can see this is what it looks like. This is pretty detailed for being small. And it was alright the way it was. This undo. See, we can use it as it was. Or make it a little bit smaller, get a smaller version. It might look more detailed. So I'm looking at it 100%. I like that. So now to get the copy of what tiles, we just match up stuff like this right here to there. That's the same. Down there it's the same. So if I copy just one section, go through here, copy that top, then that top, edit, copy. This is one copy of one little section. Now we'll paste it over here. Had to unselect stuff over there so don't paste inside the selection. Now we just edit, paste, edit, paste, edit, paste. See, then we can make it as long as we want. Edit, paste. We can also go with faster way and copy a great big chunk of it, like all of this, and paste it in. So this is smaller echo of everything. So this, see where that one is, and that one's the middle. So these are the ones that needs to be merged together. I can just do one, click these to link together, and Control E, merge those down in one fell swoop. And I can just copy that and paste it in there. Make it longer. So these tiles, they make art look more detailed. And it's less time to work on them. Than you would if you were to do every single thing in it. Just saying. Now, if you were to draw every single one on that, that would take up a lot of time, and there would be a lot of inaccuracy in it. But while you're tiling, you got to kind of keep the accuracy. And even when it's off, like there is places here where this hole is bigger, and I used that to help tile it. And then there's places here it's smaller, but it's consistent. We get everything that's in one little section, work on it on the outsides, and then copy it. Like this right here, that copied section is more like from here. See that top line, and I get this top. So there, that top, and then that top. That's too many by 1 pixel. Okay, right there, that's a copy. So we do all that just so we can get something consistent in there and copy it, where this is repeated here. Find a repetition and copy it. And a lot of things like this, they're supposed to be repetition. And if anybody wants this, I can upload it. Just I can upload both these. I'll just save them as little PSD and have both these together, and you can use them, make stuff with them, change colors, and, and colorize it. So that's basically how I did details in this. This details is the same as what I just made. This the chain might be a little bit rough. And this pattern right here, that was just the free flow of the brush. I wasn't planning or trying. I was just using the flow of the brush, like swoops down and twists around. And then more like this is like that. Because that was in some of this. It's the sort of the style a little bit. See this right here is not really a perfect curved style in it. And I didn't make this part. I just enhancing it for this part. But I was learning from it. So this like squared, going around and squared off. I didn't add no ice or nothing to it. So that was the way the artist did that. And you can see in this corner right here, the style, that's basically what I was doing. There's a spike there, there's a swirl there, swirl there. So you got swirls and spikes and big leaf patterns through here. So I copied that. I copied it in the design for this. And this is a repeated area. Like from here down to here. That's a repeat. That's just one section I did, and it tiles and does all that. Keeps repeating all the way down. Just like the cable, just like the rope. And I was doing the brush work with the heavy flow and then a small brush. It was a heavy flow. So I wouldn't have to repeat the line because I can only draw the line once. And if I try drawing over it, I can come close because I've had a lot of practice. And I practice handwriting so then I can do stuff like this. Well, there it was off. Anyway, I do free flow and things like this, and then stuff like that, and use different colors, but I don't have to use different colors. I just get an area where I can work with it and color it later, because I don't have to add the oranges and stuff in there right away. Of course I could, but that would be like pixel work. That's a little bit tougher. And finding colors that go in between to help blend it in. And then the shadow colors to give it more shadow. So that's basically how I got it going, is that's how I made it. And I kept it consistent, like a line here for highlights where I wanted the sunlight to come in. And stuff like this, that's just pretty simple. I made it like a little shield here with a cross, and this I just looped around like this, just a loop. And when I made one loop and then made this other loop go with it, and I copied it and inverted it over here, so this is a copy of that, and this cross is in the middle. And what's underneath of it is just to, like, let's see, get this color here, like doing this, and then, yep, and this is like a small version of it. Then I just use a brush with a wider color. Go through the middle. Let's go with the lower flow now. And smaller brush. Like that. And then when I want to make sure that it stays inside the line, this right here, don't want to select more than 2 pixels. Maybe it's because this zoom that I'm in. See, right here, I'm going to follow this through and make it dark. Make this dark too. So I'm restricted by doing that. Just paint in the dark colors. Of course, this is not dark as black. Let's do black. Okay, that limits it so that it don't paint outside. So you got it inside that line. Then I went over it and cut holes in it, like little blocks here. Give it like a Roman look. Then I can select areas inside. And move it up. Oh, wait a minute. Edit, undo, move. That's probably on something that I won't like when it's trimmed. Yep. That's not very clear. I could probably trim it before I cut it. Do step back, add squares here, squares here, here. So all that areas that it's deleting is outside these things. So it's something is not actually showing that it's selected, but it is selected. So oops, don't want to do that. So I delete everything to unselect it. Now I'll trim it. There, that looks better. So basically that's how that was. And then let's see, edit, step back. I'm gonna step back. Do that. And then take this line out. That looks like it's a separate part the way it's working. Anyway, I just, probably because it's not filled very much, I can fill it with this color. pick up the color and fill it. It's on a low flow, so I barely see it doing anything. There. So now I got that. So it's sort of like, well, where is it? Right there. That's sort of like what I have there. And then underneath of it, get a layer underneath. What's this? Okay. The layer underneath is just filled with another color. I can shade with different colors, but I can just fill in just these areas. And I can add some shading in it. See, I'm trying to just keep do two separate shades. There's one there and one there, one there, one there. That gives it more shadow look. And that's how I made that. That look was, of course, this was more of a goldish color. Let's see. I can make that a little more goldish. Let's see. Image, adjust, color balance. And then with this, I want it to be more of a yellow. So I want to go with highlights. Make it more yellow because this is sort of like brownish dark. I want more yellow here. There, like that. And then I might want to shade more darker. Get some of these other colors in there. Just select this. And then go back over this with a lighter color. They basically match it up. But that's just simple stuff. And these walls are just drawn. They're just lines. Just draw the lines. Hold shift, draw another line. And then draw these little sections between it. Of course, you can see this is a tile section here, but it wasn't completely finished. As let's say this bright spot right here, you have to find another bright spot exactly like that, and then you can find how wide this is. Right there it is. There's the bright spot. There's a bright spot. There's a bright spot, and that's a double width on that bright spot, just like this bright spot down here is double width. You got two on each side, and this one right here don't have two on each side like that, but this one does. There it is. It's a repeat. And this other one is just at the end. You can see here, this line goes up to that far. Find another spot where that is. It's right here at the end. Maybe not. You can't tell by that rope. Right there's one. This was made with sort of like this larger, but in more detail, and shrunk it down to make it look like this. So this is something that you might like, because if you can do this, then it shouldn't be too much of a problem. But wait a minute, let me get this. But it's just basically just drawing and knowing the materials. Like this is overlap, you need a lighter area on the top right here, curve down into going underneath, then come back up, brighter area, then darker area, and it just weaves to show depth. You gotta have darkness. And you just saw how I curved it around. I just shrunk the sides in. And that gives this effect. Looks like it's curved around. Because it's otherwise it just looked like it was shaded and didn't look like it curved around. And you got this rope here, or this could be metal. Anyway, it's a twisted look, twisted pattern. And this is a braided pattern. And I've never done a braided pattern before, but I assumed that it wasn't that hard. And it's like right here, I was just made one and copied it. And all these are made up with that single same one. Of course, you can always go with making your own and making each one different, or you can go with like this and make changes in a few of them to keep it from being tiled too much, because it could have repetition in it by having these little marks in here. It's the same mark is in every single one because they're all identical. But we changed the sides so they're not identical if somebody tried to match them up, because these over here on the side are narrower and they are wider here. They go narrower towards the side to curve around. I guess that's enough for now. I'll save these so then you can have them. And they're just going to be the tile section. I'll get a big copy, little copy, some tiling for the rope and this, and upload it. I got cable now, so I should be able to upload faster than DSL. Cable is 25 megs, and the DSL was almost 7, mostly 6. They were paying for 7 and only got 6. And that was divided up between all the computers in the house, all the cell phones and everything. The more it gets divided, the slower it gets. But cable is full power. It's like 25 megs to every computer in the house. It's not divided. So it's a lot faster. So I should be able to load this up faster. I probably talked too long already anyway.